I on
We're back. We are back again, and we are drinking something different. Who knows what it is? We let Google roll a die for us, and that die turned out to be this pour we got in front of us. We also have about 8 or 9 unfinished samples of whiskey in front of us because we just recorded the Found North 300th episode. So I'm a little potentially tasting fatigued. But what is that?
Found North Batch 1.
Ooh,
Just showing off a little bit.
off.
Sorry.
But I'm a little tasting fatigued. But at this point, I feel good. Like there was a point during that episode where I was like, I've drank it too much, and I am good for now. But now that we've talked,
fatiguery is equivalent. Our fatiguery.
Yeah. It's like deducery. It's like if you deduce something, you deducery it. So you know how the rules work. We do a blind pour. We sip it. We rate it. We give notes on it, and let's do it. So first smells, first taste.
All right. I honestly cannot believe you dug your nose that far into it. Holy crap.
Oh, really?
This has
maybe I'm just all liquored up.
This has potency that would not allow me to do that
without dude, I was huffing this thing.
crying immediately afterwards. We got the same number, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Let's give it the old sip.
All right.
Stronger on the palate. I've had a lot to drink tonight.
Yeah.
What is that though?
Dang. Yeah, that is all right. How much would you pay for this? All right, I'm honing in. I'm thinking I'm in. No, I'm not allowed to take another sip. Whew, close one. Let's go with 65.
Okay.
I feel pretty good about that.
I was gonna say 50, or I'm sorry, 45 was on my head.
All right.
All right. We'll be back. We're gonna take some notes. We're gonna take some guesses, and I have a feeling this will be a close one. This is not too definitive yet, but we'll be right back after this break. And we're back. It was a tough one, especially with the tasting fatigue that both of us were feeling, especially me. But I'll tell you what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that I'm going to win this one because I think you're up too, right? It's 2-1, Bryan in the lead.
I think it's 1-1.
1-1.
Let's take a peek here. Oh my gosh, Bryan's up 2-1, ladies and gentlemen.
2-1. Yep. So maybe I'll win this time, but maybe I hear you're hedging. So I just went all out in one direction, mostly because of 1 or 2 notes that I got from this one, but I'll go over my notes real quick.
Let's hear it.
Nose. I got bourbony notes. Definitely not a rye, but potentially could be a finished single malt off the nose. But when I tried it on the palate, I was getting wheated notes. Maybe some berries in there, I wrote down. I didn't have many notes. On the finish, I said pleasant finish, still getting some wheat notes on this one. So I'll let you do your notes, and then we'll figure out who does the...
Okay. You made me realize a mistake, and I don't want to just change it real quick.
Nice. But that's like me when with not the wilderness, the Driftless Glen, where I'm like, I know what it is now.
Oh no. It's just that you said bourbony notes, so in my mind I was like, hell yeah, that's what I put too. And then I looked, and instead of putting bourbon, I wrote corn.
Oh, that's fun. I'll allow it.
I
I'll allow
don't.
it.
Yeah, I don't think this is like a corn whiskey,
Yeah,
but
no, I'll allow that to be
I
bourbon.
intended to put bourbon, so
No,
I'm gonna
I'll
go
allow
ahead
it.
and.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. If that make or breaks the season, then we'll have other
Yeah. I
discussions. But
already gave you all my points for the
oh yeah,
season,
that's right.
technically. So,
Yeah. Okay, so on for notes though, for notes. Nose, I wrote light brown sugar, classic bourbon notes with a slight minerality.
ooh,
And for
much
the
notes. Very, very,
oh,
very
just
much.
just wait till I say my finish notes. Probably the
Ooh,
longest finish notes I've ever written here. But on the
wow.
palate, I said younger oak, cherry, and strawberry. There was like
Ooh.
good bourbon fruits here that I thought was really interesting. And Cole's shaking his head and nosing
No, I'm
again.
not
He's
shaking my
like,
head. I'm shaking my head at myself because I was fatigued.
I hope you saved a little bit. Maybe you can try another day. But
Yeah.
palate, younger oak, cherry, and strawberry. Finish, I wrote ABV burn like a youthy barrel strength, one note bottling. And then later I came back to it and I said, late in the finish, I got some nice rye spice, like an Elijah Craig barrel proof. So like
That's funny.
I felt like this would be like a 20 to 30% rye kind of thing. I got
Wow.
some good rye notes on the end there.
I did not. I got straight wheat notes.
Wheat.
So, did you wait? Did you do your finish yet? You did.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll do my guesses because mine are obviously wrong. Um, I went type wheat whiskey.
Ooh.
Secondary grain, Kern.
Curd.
Distillery, Heaven Hill. You see a pattern yet?
Oh.
Proof 118.8, age 8. That was my only hedge because Bernheim Barrel Proof Batch 1 was 7 to 9 year old.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
I went with 8. Finished, nope. Bottle Bernheim Barrel Proof A223, but if it's Bernheim Barrel Proof without being A223, I still win.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out. And I gave it a score of an 8/B.
A/B. Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So type, I put bourbon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You
First
probably
I put
won just based on that.
first I put corn and then I put bourbon.
Yeah.
Secondary grain, I wrote rye because I did get some late palate nice rye spice there that I actually kind of enjoyed. But that might have been the thing I enjoyed the most about this pour. Foreshadowing, I guess.
Ooh.
Distillery, I said went ahead and said Brown Foreman
Ooh.
because of the slight
Damn.
minerality I mentioned earlier.
I
So
know Brown Foreman.
this
No, kidding.
whole the whole time we were going through guesses, I was waiting for Cole to like really key in and be like, ooh,
No,
I think I know what this is, because then I
this
would
ain't
have
no
been like,
Brown
yes, it's
Foreman.
definitely Brown Foreman. But anyway, so I'm going against my intuition being Cole's forthcomingness of his guesses here.
Yeah.
But Brown Foreman is a distillery. Proof, I went with 116, very close to you. Age,
Nice.
I said 4 years because I think this is a pretty young, relatively young thing. But here's where I like super hedged because and I was like hands off the keyboard at the very end. But finished, I went ahead and said yes, that it was a
Ooh,
sherry finish. Oh my gosh,
I could
Cat is
see
gonna
that.
knock over all my Fountain North Glens. My cherry strawberry notes, I couldn't get over that. You don't get
Nice.
that with an unfinished whiskey, so I wanted to put something, so I put yes sherry. Bottle, I went ahead and said a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof because I had originally put in an Old Forester pick, but the Old Forester picks like burn me. They're like nuclear, and the Jack Daniel's single barrel picks have a much more mellow, sweet. And
Yeah.
this was a little more mellow sweet, so I gave
This
it
did
an.
not taste like JDBP SBs are like they read like 145 sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, score, I give it an 8.4. Like
Nice.
numerically, I was above you, but letterally, which is totally weird, I went with B minus. And B
Oh,
minus for me is like it has more pros than cons. Good Lord. I had
crazy cat.
more pros than cons, but like like I like it, but it's not going to like clearly stand out. It's just going to have more pros and cons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let me say about this that I am super tasting fatigued, and that if I gave a bad score and it's a great whiskey, I apologize. But I am not feeling on my top game right now. But who knows? I could still win.
Ooh,
Who
fair,
knows?
fair.
All right. Let's go over to our. Before we do that, let's skip over to our results page
No,
and
wait,
let's pull out this bottle.
yeah, there you go. We got to see what it is.
All right,
All
here we
right, you
go.
ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Oh, we're close. On
Okay.
the proof, at least.
Well,
Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. It is a bourbon, I assume.
I assume so too.
Yeah, but we'll be right back. We'll count up all the points. It's specifically a batch 115 at 115.7 proof. Who knows? It probably has wheat in here somewhere, but it is finished. I can assure you of that.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll be back and we'll talk more about the score itself. So we'll be right back. All right. I'll say it right now. Cole lost, but let's find out how bad he lost. Cole said wheat whiskey. A very I had a professor in college one time write down ballsy answer, but sadly false. And that's how it felt for this one. Wheat whiskey was a ballsy answer, but sadly false. It was a bourbon. Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend is a bourbon. So Brian got 3 points. Cole got 0. I said secondary grain was corn. Brian said rye. There's no details on that, so we're gonna no points for either of us. Distillery, we don't really know,
Yeah.
but Cole said Heaven Hill. Brian said Brown Foreman. Either way, wrong because there's no sourcing because they source. That's for show. Maybe it is Brown Foreman. Who knows? Maybe it is Heaven Hill.
Distilled in Indiana and Kentucky. So it is
Okay.
not Brown Foreman.
Yeah. So it could be Heaven Hill. But anyway, proof, Brian killed it this round. He said 116. He was off by 0.3 proof. It was a 115.7. He got all 5 points for that one. Cole got 2 points for being off by about 3 points or 3 proof. I said 118.8. Age statement, it is not age stated. So all points are off, even though I said 8 and Brian said 4. Finished, yes, and it is sherry finished and Armagnac finished. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they finish in several different barrels: Armagnac, sherry, and cognac.
Okay.
Yes, and then they take those
just said one of
3
those.
barrels and they blend all 3 of those together into Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. So sherry is only just a fraction of the finish of
I'll
the
count
overall
it.
blend.
Sherry was involved, so Brian gets 2 points for saying it is finished in sherry. Bottle guess, I said Bernheim barrel proof, A223, and Brian said Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Neither of us got that. But then yeah, that's it. So total score, it was not a close one this time. Cole had 2, Brian had 10. So write that down in season 2, baby. So yeah, that's the name of the game this week. I'm behind by 2 now. The furthest, I feel like this is the furthest lead either one of us have had is 2 up.
We've been pretty neck and neck. You never know.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll super throw it next time. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I'll be on my game next time.
How about wait, the number 1 point out here is the age guesses. I guessed 4 years. Cole guessed 8 years. This thing, I mean, it has no age statement, but man, it kind of all over the place for how you could interpret.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is interesting stuff. And like I've heard the batches really vary. And people kind of say the higher the number, the maybe not so great anymore kind of dealio. But this was batch 115, but Brian thought it drank like a 4-year-old whiskey. So take that with a huge grain of salt. But
you never know. Well, we hope you guys had a fun time. We'll see you guys next time. But thanks for joining us. We had a good time. Sorry I was so fatigued, bourbon wise, and even just tired wise. So, but next time we'll have a great time, as we always do, on the Reentry Buzz. We'll see you guys next week. I already gave you all my points for this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Technically,
yeah.
so